some director friends have some very nasty names for me because they call me OCD and very other horrible names which I can't say.
What are those names you want to know? What are those names?
You know what? Ask Anurag Kashyap, he'll tell you. I don't lose it in like a way that is big. I lose it like you can make out from my face, and it is like this energy emanating, which people are like, oh my god, just get out of here. I'm the director, I'm supposed to say, and I was like thinking like an actor,
How do I impress Tisca Chopra as a director?
Ouch. I have no idea. I've only just done one film. That's too tough a question for me to answer. I don't know.
Tisca Chopra, who's won hearts with her acting prowess, has turned director with short film Rubaru. And today we're going to be talking to Tisca about Rubaru and some other interesting bits, that every budding actor would want to know from her. So thank you, Tisca, for joining us today.
My pleasure completely. Thank you for having me.
What took you so long, to kind of, get into the role of the director? I mean, you've been in the industry for so long. You already have a huge fan base. Was there anything that was sort of, deterring you from taking on the role, or were you sort of, waiting for a particular project, something, that went along with your thought process, to take on the role?
It had to come organically. It wasn't something that I was thinking about consciously for a long time. I was thinking of producing, which I did. Then Chutney happened, Chutney happened. And then I was supposed to be directing a feature film, which got kind of stalled a little bit because of the casting process. And then the lockdown happened.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, there was Rubaru, which was a short film which I was contemplating. Abhi kare, nahi kare. And we were thinking, when the feature film ka post-production is going on, I'll shoot this film. But then it so happened that there was a window of opportunity, and we said, chalo, let's go for it. And so we did the short film in that time. And it was actually great because it's a short film, you have to be very, very precise. You don't have time to bring the character close to people. You don't have 10 minutes to tell people who the character is. You have to tell them in the first 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So it's very good for me because then if you can do it in a short film, then you can certainly do it in a longer format. Because then you have more time, luxury of time. You have a bigger budget, you have very A teams with you in terms of, assistants and here a short film, because of its very nature, is something that you end up doing a lot of it yourself and a very small core team that you work with. Your first time falling in love, it's kind of exciting and exhilarating and feels very correct, feels very nice, feels also a little nervous.
Oh, you are nervous? How can that be possible? Seriously? Do you?
Yes,
you are getting butterflies? You're like, how exactly would it be received? What sort of reactions would come in?
Yes, of course I would be. Anybody would be. It's the first time that I'm directing something, and I've always been directed.
So, what sort of a director, would you want to be? Like someone who's very firm, stern, or somebody, who's like easy to sort of, mold herself, with whatever ideas come in from actors?
I think neither this nor that. I don't think I'm basically a stern and a strict person as such. I'm reasonably easygoing. I'm very meticulous. That is for sure. Anyone who's worked with me will tell you. Some director friends have some very nasty names for me because they call me OCD and very other horrible names which I can't say.
What are those names you want to know? What are those names?
You know what? Ask Anurag Kashyap, he'll tell you what he. So he's got a horrible name for me.
What is it? Tell us. Tell us. No, I mean, I want to know.
I can't tell you. It's not something that you can put on air.
Okay.
But he has some very choice names for me. And then there are so I think I would be the kind of director. Hopefully, one trusts the actors one has hired, and inspire them to be able to have the fragrance of the character rather than tell them what to do, because what I do with my body and my face is specific to me. But of course, if there's a beat or a cadence that you want in the character or in the dialogue, or you want the performance to come in a certain way so that you can edit it or see it in a certain way, then you might kind of have a discussion, but always discuss, because you can't bear down a performance on somebody else. And then you're not trusting the people who you hired, which actually means you're not trusting yourself, because you've hired them. So that's your responsibility.
Yes, yes. You just talked about, these names that we usually keep for our friends, and, it's basically an endearment, right? Out of endearment that you put out. What names have you in mind for some directors, that I would want to mention? Let's begin with Anurag Kashyap, since we just mentioned him. Is there a particular name out of endearment that you've kept for him?
No, I just call him AK, but he's actually been a very big part of Rubaru, I have to say. Because he kind of re-looked at the film after he saw the footage. He said, there's something very special here and I want to re-look at it. And he did a version of an edit which we've stayed with by and large very strongly. And I'm very grateful to him. And he's such a nurturer of people. It's small wonder then that there's so many people who mushroomed around him into ginormous talents themselves. Because he's an encourager. Nurturer.
So that moment when Tisca Chopra lost her cool as a director on the sets of Rubaru
was when the last day of shoot, when we were shooting at our city mall, and we found, because we were on such a tight schedule, when we found that the vanity van, they couldn't find a plug point to plug the vanity van in, and I had to get ready. Direct. We were facing the challenge of the light running out because it was a 2 to 2 shift. I just lost it. I was like, but when I lose it, I don't lose it in like a way that is big. I lose it like you can make out from my face, and it was like this energy emanating, which people are like, oh my God, just get out of here. So I did lose it then. Yes, for sure.
And that moment when Tisca laughed uncontrollably because of something weird that had happened on the sets.
The moment when I realized that, they're looking at me to tell them what to do. I'm the director, I'm supposed to say. And I was like thinking like an actor, थोड़ा ढीला नहीं हो गया इन लोगों का काम, क्यों वेट कर रहे हैं, बताना चाहिए क्या करना है next. So I didn't say anything, and I assumed that, and they were looking at me, I was looking at them, and there was this like weird pause, and then suddenly hit me on it's me, and then I laughed and I said, "Arey yaar, sorry, I forgot that I was the director for a brief moment."
Yes, that moment when you realize that taking on the role of a director is a tough job.
I think in the edit process, because ultimately now the buck stops with you. The editor's asking you that do you want this or do you want this, because this will mean this and this will mean this. So where do you want to go with this? So I think at that time I kind of realized that I have to take a call. I have to say yes, okay. And then good, bad, ugly, whatever. I have to take the responsibility, and I do take it.
और मुझे तो सिर्फ इंटरव्यूज चाहिए, कुछ प्रिंट मीडिया में कवरेज मिल जाए, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया में इंटरव्यूज हो जाए, मेरा तो ड्रीम एक्टर बनने का खत्म. दैट्स इट. इवन 2 फिल्म्स वुड वर्क.
फिर उतना ही होगा. You'll get your maybe 10 minutes of fame, and then that's it. But fame is a byproduct. That's really like most actors I know are quite shy. They don't like it. Interviews are a necessary thing that they have to do. It's not that, it's different if it's a conversation like this.
So are affairs the only way, to actually get instant fame?
If that's the kind of fame you're looking for, sure. If you want to be somebody who's constantly having a fling, then yeah, sure, it is. It's a good way. It's not a bad way. But then what about your acting?
What is more important? Is it training or knowing the right people in the industry?
Training. Training is more important because talent is like a fragrance. It spreads and the right people will start coming to you.
Okay. How do I get a good agent?
Put a tent outside their house.
How do I get cast in a major film or primetime TV series? Ekta Kapoor कैसे मिलेगी?
एकता कपूर से कैसे मिलेंगे? उनके Ekta's system is wonderful. She has actually you can actually just go to Balaji Telefilms. I don't know in the pandemic how that works, but you can go to Balaji Telefilms and drop your pictures and meet the people there. And if you're keen enough and willing to audition, and if you're decent, then you'll get cast.
Okay. Anurag Kashyap. Sorry.
No, please. I said they're doing. Balaji does so much of work that there's always a lot of work for lots of people.
I mean, I want to begin my career with Anurag Kashyap, but I really don't know how to go about it.
Become good at your work. He will find you. He will come looking for you. Love films. Live, breathe, eat, drink films, and he will find you.
How do I impress Tisca Chopra as a director?
Ouch. I have no idea. I've only just done one film. That's too tough a question for me to answer. I don't know.
Okay. Let's assume that you've done about 5 films, and then there's someone who wants to know, how do I impress Tisca Chopra?
Be meticulous about your work. Be concerned. Stay on set. Be involved in the story, not just in your close-ups. Be there to help the other actors. Be there to help the director fulfill their vision, because a passenger can't fly ahead of the aircraft. The film is the aircraft. The film has to succeed for you to be able to reach where you want to reach. So understand that the wellness of the whole is more important than just your individual wellness. So unselfishness, I think.
Do you think my accent and my name with less characters, or the characters that are needed, can really prevent me from getting the right work?
Not from me. I'll cast you if you're good at your work. I don't care what your name is or what your accent is. If the accent is something that works for the character, or if you show an ability to be able to learn another accent, then you're a person.
And is it a good approach to also pay agents and casting directors to get like big Bollywood projects?
I think you have to pay a standard 10% to your agent, and casting directors are paid by the production that hires them. So I don't even know if they will take money from you if you pay them. So the serious people who are seriously doing good work are not interested in all of this jazz.
Right. And last question. I'm an outsider. I have no contacts in the industry. What would drive me and what would help me leave an impact in this industry?
I think that the question itself is flawed, because if you're looking to leave an impact, then the first thing to do is to have a love of movies, because you can't make an impact. You should love the thing that you're doing, because it's a tough work. It's a tough job. It's physically demanding and psychologically and emotionally demanding. So if you don't love the job, then you're going to find yourself cribbing, pack up kitne baje, kya ho raha hai, ghar jana hai. I think that if you are invested in the work and you love the work, then you will leave an impact. That it just shows. It's a kind of a thing that comes out of your being. You don't have to project it. So, yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Tisca, for taking time out, speaking to us about Rubaru. Yes, we're all looking forward to it. I'm sure it would only be accolades, that would be coming your way as your first project as a director. And we would, in fact, want to see more such projects from you. So thank you so much for joining us today.
So much. Thank you.